When Elon Musk called a regular $25,000 Tesla pointless, the sentence sounded like a rejection of the cheap electric car dream. But that is not exactly what was happening. The real target was not the idea of a lower price. The target was the old way of reaching that lower price, where an automaker builds a smaller, weaker, more basic car, and hopes buyers accept the compromise. In Tesla's case, the more interesting question became much sharper. How does a company make the same kind of vehicle cost less without turning it into something fragile, stripped of its core purpose, or less safe in a crash? That difference matters because cheap cars usually become cheap in visible ways. They lose comfort, they lose technology, they lose materials, and sometimes they lose the feeling that made people want them in the first place. But there is one area where the cut cannot be treated like a simple budget decision: the structure. A screen can be removed, a speaker can disappear, a softer material can become a harder one. But the skeleton of the car is different. That skeleton decides what happens when the vehicle is hit from behind, from the side, or from the front. And that is where cost-cutting becomes dangerous, if it is done the wrong way. So when Musk used the word pointless, the deeper message was that a low-cost Tesla only makes sense if the savings come from manufacturing, not from weakening the product. In other words, Tesla does not want to create a cheaper car by making a worse car. It wants to make the same basic car with fewer wasted steps, fewer parts, less labor, and less complexity inside the factory. That is a very different idea from simply deleting features until the price drops. One path produces a budget vehicle. The other path tries to produce a familiar vehicle with a lower manufacturing bill hiding underneath the metal. This is why the affordable Tesla story is more complicated than it looks from the outside. A buyer sees the final price and asks what was removed. Tesla looks at the production line and asks what never needed to be there in the first place. That is the quiet battle behind the whole project. The company is not only fighting the price tag on the window sticker, it is fighting every weld, every bracket, every robot movement, every minute of factory time, and every tiny inconsistency that appears when thousands of parts have to meet perfectly, again and again. The key point is that the cheapest part is not always the part that looks cheap. Sometimes the biggest savings come from deleting a process that the customer never sees. If a car needs fewer separate pieces to form the same rear structure, the customer does not notice a missing feature. What changes is the cost of building the body, the speed of assembly, and the number of things that can go wrong before the car even reaches final inspection. That is where Tesla's affordable strategy starts to look less like a discount version and more like a manufacturing puzzle. That is also why the safety question sits at the center of everything. The real challenge is not whether Tesla can remove a few comfort features and lower the price. Any automaker can do that. The challenge is whether Tesla can cut cost while keeping the crash structure, the battery protection, and the airbag system in the same serious category as the more expensive versions. If that balance works, the cheaper car is not cheaper because it became weaker. It is cheaper because the factory learned how to waste less money building it. The reason Gigacasting became such a big part of this story is simple. It attacks cost before the customer ever touches the car. Sandy Munro famously pointed out how the rear section of the Model 3 contained more than 120 separate metal pieces welded together. That does not mean the Model 3 was badly built. It means traditional car manufacturing has always depended on a huge number of stamped, pressed, welded, sealed, checked, and corrected components. Each one seems small by itself, but together they create an expensive chain of labor, machinery, time, and possible mistakes. In the Model Y built in Austin, that whole idea changed in a dramatic way. Instead of building the rear structure from a large collection of welded parts, Tesla used a giant casting machine to create a single rear section. A massive piece of aluminum is formed in one shot, in less than a second, replacing a complicated structure that would normally require many separate operations. On paper, it sounds like a factory detail. In practice, it changes the economics of the car because the company is no longer paying for every tiny step that used to happen before that structure was ready. That is where the cost saving becomes more interesting than a simple parts count. Fewer pieces means fewer robots needed to move, position, weld, and inspect those pieces. It means fewer human checks around alignment problems. It means fewer chances for one part to be slightly off and force extra work later in the line. In a factory, small differences become expensive very quickly because they slow everything down. When one giant casting replaces dozens of smaller operations, the benefit is not only that the part itself is simpler, the whole rhythm of production becomes cleaner. Consistency is another hidden advantage. When a rear structure is made from many pieces, every unit depends on many joining points being correct. If one weld, bracket, or alignment point varies slightly, the factory has to catch it, correct it, or accept a tolerance that affects the next stage. With a single casting, the structure comes out with far fewer joining points. That does not make manufacturing magical, and it does not remove every problem, but it reduces the number of places where variation can enter the process. For a company trying to build high volumes, that consistency is worth a lot. This is why gigacasting fits directly into the idea behind Musk's pointless comment. A cheaper Tesla is not supposed to become cheaper because its bones were made weaker. It becomes cheaper because the bones are made in a way that removes unnecessary complexity. The customer still sees a vehicle that looks and behaves like a proper Tesla, but the factory behind it has fewer steps, fewer machines doing repetitive joining work, and fewer opportunities for rework. The savings are buried inside the manufacturing system, not loudly displayed as a missing safety feature. But there is an important detail here. Gigacasting is not the same thing as the fully modular manufacturing system Tesla showed in 2023. It is one powerful tool, not the entire future factory. It simplifies major sections of the vehicle, especially where dozens of parts used to be joined together, but it does not mean the whole car is being assembled in a completely new way. That distinction matters because many people imagine the affordable Tesla will arrive only because of one giant futuristic production method, when the real savings may be coming from a more practical mix of casting, simplification, and selective feature cuts. The modular, unboxed system sounded like the missing key when Tesla first presented it in 2023. The idea was bold because it did not treat the car as something that must move through the factory in one long, traditional line. Instead, different sections of the vehicle could be built separately, prepared at the same time, and then brought together later. In theory, that could reduce factory space, shorten assembly time, and make the production process feel less like a slow parade and more like a coordinated team working on different parts of the same machine at once. That is why so many people connected the affordable Tesla to this system almost immediately. If Tesla wanted to cut the cost of a future mass-market car, a production method that could reduce factory footprint by up to 40% seemed like the perfect explanation. Less space means lower building cost. Less movement inside the factory means less time wasted. Parallel assembly means different teams and machines are not always waiting for one long line to move forward. On paper, it looked like the kind of breakthrough that could make a cheaper Tesla possible without simply stripping the vehicle down. But the important detail is that this system has not fully arrived for the affordable car yet. The clearest real-world application is connected to the Cybertruck, where Tesla has been testing pieces of that modular thinking inside a very unusual vehicle program. The Cybertruck is not a simple mass-market compact car. It has a stainless steel body, a different structure, a different production challenge, and a much more experimental manufacturing path. So even though the unboxed idea is real inside Tesla's production vision, it has not become the main engine behind the low-cost vehicle story in the way many people first imagined. That changes the way the affordable Tesla has to be understood. The savings cannot simply be explained by saying the company flipped a switch and replaced the entire factory with the new modular system. That has not happened. The more realistic picture is less flashy, but maybe more important. Tesla is cutting cost through specific decisions that already work or can be scaled more quickly. Gigacasting is one of them. Fewer parts are another. Simplified interiors, fewer configurations, and more efficient assembly steps are part of the same direction. The car becomes cheaper because many small and large factory decisions stack together. This also explains why the project feels confusing from the outside. People keep looking for one dramatic invention that suddenly makes a Tesla affordable. But manufacturing rarely works that cleanly. A car does not become thousands of dollars cheaper because of one single trick. It usually happens because hundreds of dollars are removed here. Dozens of parts disappear there. One assembly station becomes unnecessary. One supplier part is simplified. One feature becomes optional. And one repair or inspection step becomes easier. The final price drop looks sudden to the customer, but inside the factory, it is built piece by piece. So the absence of the full, unboxed system does not mean Tesla has no path toward a cheaper car. It means the first wave of savings is probably coming from a more grounded place. Instead of waiting for the entire factory of the future to be ready, Tesla can use what it already knows. Cast larger structures, reduce complexity, remove features that do not affect crash protection, and shift some value into software and subscriptions. That is where the story starts moving away from the factory floor and into the cabin. Because once the structure is protected, the next question becomes what Tesla actually removed. The cuts inside the affordable Tesla are where the strategy becomes easier to see, because this is the part the buyer can actually notice. A rear screen can disappear, and most people will understand why. Ambient lighting can be removed, and the car still drives the same way. A subwoofer can be taken out, AM/FM radio can be dropped, and the cabin can move from vegan leather to fabric without changing the basic function of the vehicle. These choices are not invisible like gigacasting, but they are still very different from cutting into the crash structure or reducing the protection around the battery pack. That is the line Tesla seems to be trying not to cross. Comfort features can be treated as flexible. Structural safety cannot. A cheaper seat material might make the cabin feel less premium, but it does not decide how the car absorbs energy in an accident. Harder plastic on the doors might look simpler, but it does not replace airbags. A simplified sound system may disappoint someone who wants a richer audio experience, but it does not weaken the protective shell around the passengers. This is the kind of cost-cutting that feels aggressive without necessarily attacking the most important parts of the car. The most sensitive change is probably software. If auto steer becomes a subscription instead of being included as a standard feature, the car can be sold with a lower starting price, while Tesla keeps a path to revenue after the sale. That is a very different business model from the old car industry, where the automaker made most of the money when the customer signed the papers. Here, the base vehicle can become the entry point, while certain digital functions become optional upgrades later. For some buyers, that may feel frustrating. For Tesla, it may be one of the cleanest ways to lower the sticker price without touching the metal. The suspension is another area that raises attention because it can change how the car feels on the road. If Tesla simplifies the suspension setup, the savings may come from fewer components, easier assembly, or a less expensive design. But this is also where the company has to be careful. A cheaper suspension cannot make the car feel unstable, rough, or unfinished. The affordable model still needs to feel like something built for daily American roads, highways, potholes, long commutes, school runs, and weekend trips. Cutting cost here is possible, but the customer will feel the difference much faster than with a missing rear screen. What stands out is what reportedly did not change: the impact structure, battery protection, and airbags. That is the part that gives the whole strategy its logic. Tesla can make the cabin simpler, reduce entertainment hardware, lower material costs, and move some features behind software choices. But the safety foundation has to remain in the same category. If the vehicle keeps the same safety classification, the message becomes clear. This is not a car made cheaper by becoming weaker. It is a car made cheaper by separating what is essential from what is nice to have. That separation is what makes the affordable Tesla so different from the typical cheap car formula. Instead of looking like a stripped-down machine built only to hit a price, it starts to look like a carefully edited version of a larger manufacturing plan. The expensive parts of the identity remain where they matter most: crash protection, battery shielding, electric drivetrain, software platform, and factory efficiency. The parts removed are mostly the things that make the cabin feel more premium or more complete. And that leads to an even stranger discovery, because some of the manufacturing choices that reduce cost may also make the car cheaper to repair after a crash. The repair data adds an unexpected twist to the story, because gigacasting is often attacked from the opposite angle. Many people assume that a large single-piece casting must be more expensive to fix after a crash, because it looks less flexible than a traditional structure made from many welded parts. That fear makes sense at first glance. If one giant section is damaged, the natural question is whether the entire thing has to be replaced. But the numbers from Thatcham Research created a very different picture. And that is where the affordable Tesla story becomes more surprising. According to repair and insurance data connected to real-world claims, fixing the cast rear section of the Model Y can cost about $2,700 less than repairing the welded rear structure of the Model 3. That is not a small difference. It challenges the idea that a simpler structure automatically becomes a nightmare after an accident. In the old welded design, damage can spread through many connected parts, brackets, joints, and seams. Repairing it may require more labor, more alignment checks, more replacement pieces, and more time inside the body shop. With the casting, the damage path can sometimes be more predictable. This does not mean every crash becomes cheap. A severe impact can still be expensive, and insurance companies still look carefully at electric vehicles because battery packs, sensors, cameras, calibration, and structural work can raise costs quickly. But the important part is that the casting itself is not automatically the villain. If the structure is designed with repair zones, clear replacement procedures, and predictable deformation areas, the large casting can reduce complexity even after the car leaves the factory. That matters because cost is not only what Tesla pays to build the vehicle. Cost also follows the owner through insurance, maintenance, and repair. The other side of the business is even more revealing. Tesla's financial reports show that material cost matters, but the company is also building a second layer of revenue around services, software, and recurring payments. This is where the almost 1.3 million FSD subscribers become important. The car itself becomes the entry ticket into Tesla's ecosystem.